Hello my friends, this is going to be the first video that I'm shooting here back in Sacramento, coming back from San Diego. And you know, it's towards the end of the year, right before New Year's right now, so I want to shoot this video as kind of a review, kind of looking back at my past year on what I've done wrong and what I've done right, what I can improve on. So I want to share my personal experience with you, and hopefully you get value out from it. And before you do that, I want you to check this out. Check this out. That's my custom hat, and I guess when you're rich and famous, you can get your own clothing line. But all kidding aside, you can actually get one of these with your own custom stitches for about $30, so it's not too bad if you like to get one. But you know, as far as 2010, you know, there's a few things I'm looking back at that I could have done a lot better, that I could improve on. And the first one that I want to get into, you know, if you guys are building any type of business that takes a little bit of leverage, that you gotta build a team and having them work. One of the crucial mistakes that I made in 2010 is getting into management mode, and I think most of us are guilty of doing that, especially once you have your front line. I put in like over 60 people in my first 3 months in my business, and I kind of let it roll and kind of step back from recruiting for a little bit, and wasn't as consistent to recruiting once I did that. And that's when I saw kind of, you know, you gotta keep on recruiting no matter how many people you frontline. Keep it consistent, a few people a month. And I think especially for most people who don't recruit a large amount of people, and you know, I've seen people recruit as little as like 3 people, and they get into management mode. They think they have a big team, and that 3 people is gonna make them millions. And I think that's one deadly thinking, regardless of what business model that you involve in, whether it's MOM, direct sales, or even a 2-tier sales team like insurance agencies. Okay, so get into management mode. Okay, so second thing I want to kind of add on to that is somewhat related to management mode, which is not being consistent with the basics. You know, let's face it, when we first start something and we're excited and we're consistent with the basics, we do the same thing day in, day out, every single day, we see a lot of results. Yeah, you know, sometimes we get things rolling and we kind of slow down on the basics. You know, the things that we do, the basics that we do every single day, like, you know, doing your follow-ups and continue lead generation, you know, keep your pipeline full. Sometimes we forget to do the basics, and we're gonna see a slowdown, you know, that's gonna reflect on results. And the third thing, and I think this is a major thinking shift that I kind of made about 2 months ago towards the end of the year, and it's been extremely profitable to me personally, is but this is one mistake that I made for most of 2010, which is spending too much time talking to non-buyers. Okay, spending too much time talking to people who are not going to buy from you, which is going to take up your time. And this is based on the 80-20 rule. You know, 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your customers or your prospects. So, you know, instead of spending time with the 80%, you got to spend time with 20. So that's one thing I've learned to, you know, that I've been kind of making the shift about 2 months ago. I really don't spend time talking to, you know, my qualifying process is real quick. It's between 2 to 3 minutes. And if I sense that they're not going to be a buyer, I'm not going to spend time with them. I'm going to basically end the conversation. So you got to be able to sort through the numbers quickly. You know, it's a numbers game regardless of what business model that you're in. It's always going to be a numbers game. So the less time you spend with people who are not going to buy from you, the more time you're going to spend with people that are going to buy from you. So, you know, that's 3 things that on top of my head that I see I can definitely improve on for 2011. So with that said, I want to talk to you about my vision and my goals for 2011, because I see it's a great year, and quite possibly it's going to be my first 7-figure year in 2011. So I want to kind of share with you my visions and where I'm heading. First of all, as far as my online business, I'll be building a much longer and much bigger upsell process in my sales funnel. And the bigger ticket, the more money that you're gonna make. The longer sales funnel, the more that you get to market to your list. So, you know, that's a big topic on its own, and I can probably share with you exactly what I'm doing in the future videos. But building a longer and bigger ticket sales funnel. It's going to be definitely one of the changes that I've made already, actually, but I'll be heavily implementing that in 2011. Second of all, I'll be continue to definitely, to get what you want, you gotta help other people get what they want. So I'll continue to advocate my stance on teaching sound financial advices, sound business advices that works for this economy. Okay, and I'm sick and tired of people teaching you things, financial strategies, business strategies that really doesn't work in current economy. Okay, a lot of people think everything's all good and all, but it's not. The economy is collapsing. People's buying habits are changing. People's decision process are changing. So all those things, in order for you to adapt to it, you gotta make changes yourself to adapt to all those changes. So I'll continue to teach that. And one of the basic economic business mindset that I think you gotta have for 2011, 2012. I think we're in the midst of hyperinflation. If you're in North America, you gotta be making a lot more money up front. You can't be fiddling with small tiny checks that you make 10, 20, 50, even $100 when you make a sales anymore. That's not gonna pay the bills. I mean, if you have a mortgage to pay, the average mortgage in America is about $1,500, $2,000. So, and if you have a family to feed, you're gonna have to make a lot of money. If you live in California like I do, $10,000 a month will get you by. $20,000 a month, you have a little bit left over. So you gotta be making that multiple 5 figures per month mark fairly quickly. You gotta do it soon. You gotta do it in the next 60 days. And fiddling around with small commissions is not the way to do it. And I think small commission is great for a upfront sales funnel, but you gotta lead to a big back end quick. You can't drag it on for 6 months before you make a big sales. I mean, the truth is, if you make a few big sales in the next couple of months, you probably make more money in that couple of months than you've ever made online, and that's true to most people. So, and I'll continue to stay on that advocate and kind of encourage people to take that route so that they can kind of make a difference in their financial life. A lot of people kind of forgot why they got started in the industry anyways. Okay, you got started in the industry because you want to change your financial future so that you can change the lives of those around you and also yourself. And then as far as business, that's pretty much it, for 2011. And a couple of things that I'll continue to do is consistent investing. I actually invested quite a bit in 2010. I invested more money in 2010 than most people make annually. So that's pretty good. I'll continue to consistently invest on a regular monthly basis through my cash flow, and I'll continue learning about new investments and start moving to more of international investing to grow my portfolio and to grow my residual income. This is going to be another video, but I want to give you a glimpse of kind of my outlook in residual income. I think the term residual income is overused, and most industries using the term residual income don't really offer true residual income. And in all honesty, I believe that the true residual income is going to come from money making money. True residual income, I believe that it has to be making money in a passive way. Any production, if you require production to make money, even if it's leveraged production, it's not a true long-term residual income in my opinion. But I will talk about it in future video. And lastly, I'm doing triathlon this year, which is swimming, cycling, and running. It's a very intense race, and it takes a lot of concentration, a lot of brain power, a lot of persistency, and I'm sure I'll feel like giving up probably the first 2 minutes of the race, but I am gonna do it. Getting into top-notch shape is one of my goals this year. I'm not in best shape, but I'm always striving for more. I want to put on 20 pounds of muscle and just keep it rolling. Continue my good diet, lots of fiber, lots of protein, and just get into top-notch shape. And triathlon sounds like a fun way to do it. So I've been kind of waking up early and do morning lap swim, and probably between 1 mile to 2 miles swimming every single morning. Pretty intense. I have a good breakfast after that, and getting in shape. We all here, we only have one body, and we got to take care of it. And I think getting in shape is not so much getting in shape, but being healthy. It should be all of our goals, because all the money in the world is not going to make a difference if you're not in healthy shape. So with that said, with everything that I mentioned, all the goals that I'm aiming for in 2011, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your goal is, what my goal is. We're all on the same path and striving for more. We're going up, okay? We're going up and we're going forward. So, you know, I'm in the trenches with all you guys. I want to share with you guys what I'm doing. And, you know, I hope to hear on what you're doing and share with me your goals and your vision and what you want to accomplish with 2011. Because at the end of the day, we're all in the trenches together. And it's always going to be better if we can strive and pull and push each other forward so that we all prosper in 2011 in whatever goals that we set out to do. So, you know, with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.